This was one of the most unexpected collaborations, and once again with Nobuhiko Okamoto in the mix. And we are going to talk about in this episode of the collaboration between Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto, and I believe this is going to be a really good one because I love this collaboration. So let's kick off this episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Welcome to SEIYUU Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and in this episode let's talk about the collaboration between Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto. This is a collaboration from 2020, so it's been, 6 years already, and the CD, the mini album, is called Trust and Play. When this was announced, I was super excited because I love Tetsuya Kakihara and he has been unbelievably good in the last 10 years, probably. I feel I wasn't the biggest fan of his career at the start. Once again, same thing with Nobuhiko Okamoto. This aside, we have Nobuhiko Okamoto bringing his lyrics and maturity to the performances, and Tetsuya Kakihara now in 2020 fully embracing a mature vibe, also bringing really polished vocals, and the both of them were teaming up. This was something that, while I was not expecting, I was already expecting something really awesome as soon as it was announced, because I already had that precedent of Nobuhiko Okamoto collaborating with Trignol, and that collaboration was unbelievably good. So when I saw Tetsuya Kakihara, who I love a lot, and know that his music has been super good up until then specifically, and then you see Nobuhiko Okamoto is going to collaborate, probably is going to write some of the lyrics. It's going to be good. I really came to this CD thinking it's going to be good. Seeing that it's going to be good, I came to this mini album super excited. Tetsuya Kakihara had been on a really interesting growth spurt in terms of his vocal technique, basically the way he controls, the way he sings, his tone, as well as other things in his skill set that he didn't have as well polished before. The falsetto was not really there. The way that he sings, which is a half breathing, half singing style, it's super difficult to nail, but he has of course perfected that to a point that is amazing. So he was really on a high, and he continues to be on a high. Let's make that note here. It is 2026 and Tetsuya Kakihara is still one of the most exciting solo artists among male SEIYUU. I already know each time he releases a CD that he's going to impress me, and he hasn't failed to do so, so that's a good sign. But in 2020 he was still on that route towards becoming really, really good as a singer, and you could tell that he was polishing the vibe that he had. He was nearing his 40s, he was really starting to embrace that mature vibe, instead of having that, let's say, youthful club vibe that he had for most of his music previously, which was a mix of that and a mix of rock music, but he was starting to embrace jazz in some capacity, funk in another capacity, and he was doing really awesome stuff. Nobuhiko Okamoto was veering more towards his creative side. He was writing lyrics to his music. He was bringing, of course, rock with pop, sometimes even traditional Japanese music in the mix, and doing really interesting performances that were theatrical and super cinematic at times. So this collaboration was meant to be in some way. When they collaborated in Trust and Play, of course, my favorite song in this release continues to be One Morning. I'm never going to change these, no matter how many times I listen to these CD. It's, believe me, I love the second half of this CD is really perfect. The last 3 songs are perfect. The CD may not start on the vibe that I was expecting, with Kira Kira Eden not being really my thing and Dear Chooser being a bit subpar in my opinion, but One Morning, the second track in this release, was the one that sealed the deal for me. I didn't need more than that song to understand that this collaboration was amazing. Of course, there were some hiccups in the start, at least for me, because I'm not a fan of bubbly pop music, so that's the reason why I said those songs are not really that good, in my opinion, of course. Back to what I was saying, One Morning was really the standout song within the very first 3 songs, and it was more than enough for me to understand that, yeah, this is a release that I enjoy. This is a release that I feel, if we have more of these, this can be album of the year, and it was super close of being album of the year in 2020. At least for me it was. Super fun, bubbly. It is an album made for the summer, so If you are already thinking about songs that you need to add to your playlist for summer, One Morning is one of those by Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto. Paradise is another one. It's also in this release. It is the last song. It's super fun, really super fun from start to finish. I feel that when you look at this CD, you have those summer vibes really well approached and developed. You can close your eyes and be transported to those soundscapes, and it is something that I appreciate a whole lot. The lyrics are super good. The dynamics between the two vocals, one a bit higher than the other more raspy than the other. I like that dynamic that they have. And they work super well when they are performing in unison. I'm not the biggest fan of unisons, but they have a time and place, and well done. They can be super powerful. So some of the unisons in the choruses for some of these songs are super, super good. You have the difference between the two voice tones that actually enables you to always, at all times, understand where is one singer and the other, especially for people coming across their music for the very first time. I remember how hard it is to tell voices apart, so this is the way they perform is super unique, so you can tell easily apart who is whom. And also when they are singing together, you can also tell them apart because the mix is really well done. So props to that, because a good mix goes a long way towards making a really good song, and the CD is really well mixed. As a whole, I really enjoyed Trust and Play, and I feel that as far as collaborations go, this is one of the best fleshed out collaborations that we've had, and especially because we have a full mini album to review or evaluate or to look at and to say, yeah, this is an awesome collaboration, because we have more than one or two songs to say or to appraise. In this case, we have 6 songs, and we have lots of awesome moments within that release, even if the release is below 30 minutes. And then you have all the awesome stuff on the vocal end, which I really appreciate. I'm not going to spoil that, because I feel this is one of those CDs that you need to explore by yourself and see if things click. Both of them have pretty unique voices. I love Tetsuya Kakihara's voice. I've been a sucker for that voice basically since 2010. So I will say that he has an amazing voice. Nobuhiko Okamoto also has an amazing voice, although his singing tone is slightly different from what I was originally expecting. But he can do a little bit of it all when it comes to the vocal performances. He can go low if he wants to, he can go high if he wants to. He's super versatile. For this set of performances, you don't have much of that vocal range showing, because most of the songs are fairly upbeat and fun. But if you go to their respective repertoires, you will find more variety and especially see more of their versatility on the vocal end in those CDs. But as it is, this is an awesome introduction to both artists. It's also a showcase of, yes, Kiramune has a ton of talent there. They should use that talent much, much better. And also it shows that with the right instrumentals behind some voices, you can make those shine. That's one of the things that I usually say, or at least think, is that you can have the best singer among every other singer out there, but if the music in the background is really bad, the singer will not shine. But if the song behind them is good and the singer is good, you are going to be mesmerized. And if the song is really good in the background and the singer is not good, the song will fall flat. So there are some dynamics here in which you may say, well, but the singer is the one carrying the song. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes that carry is half-half between the song and the performer. Other times it is the performer taking all the brunt of the performance with them, because the instrumental is either barely there, nowhere, or it is there, but it is not remarkable. For example, when there is no instrumental in the background, we are talking about a cappella music. In that case, the voice carries the song because there's only voices. But yeah, back to what I was talking about, Trust and Play and this collaboration between Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto. I feel that this was the perfect collaboration. They are almost the same age. They have been working together for quite a long time. They have a lot of chemistry. They are from the same music label. They have sort of similar starts of their career in terms of the sound, because I feel that Kiramune almost emulated each other's careers throughout. Most of the artists within Kiramune have started in the same way, which is kind of weird, but they have their own blueprint of how the artists should sound like from the start, especially solo artists. So they follow that blueprint usually, and it's almost all the same. There are some exceptions. Takuyaguchi is an exception. It doesn't follow that blueprint. But everyone else has followed that blueprint at the start, and the sound is fairly similar at the start, the vibes as well, and the way they evolve towards what they are now, it's sometimes similar. In this case, there were tons of similarities between Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto's solo careers, so them working together was actually meant to be, I feel. I liked to see that dynamic between them. I loved their performance in One Morning and in Paradise. This is one of those releases that if I ever want to feel like I'm experiencing summer, I will listen to. One Morning is a song that I return to fairly regularly. It's a really, really good song. So yeah, I feel that I already talked plenty about this CD. I don't have much more to say beyond the fact that these two artists, of course, are fairly important within Kiramune. They have been for a while in the music label. I still don't understand why they don't have more fans, which is another thing that baffles me. When I look at popularity, I usually think, why isn't quality and technique rewarded, but looks are rewarded? That's a thing that really boggles me, because when you have quality, that should be the thing that gets rewarded, I feel. But then again, I'm not the one behind what becomes popular or not, because otherwise you would be listening to the music that I like, and you are not. But yeah, that's my only problem with these, is that I feel that this collaboration deserved more attention, and I feel that both artists deserve a lot of attention, but they are not getting it. I don't know if it is a Kiramune problem, I don't know if it is a fan problem that they don't enjoy SEIYUU artists. Once again, we have talked about how people or fans don't want to become fans of SEIYUU artists because they fear that the SEIYUU artist may be wrapped up in a scandal, and then they feel that they invested money for nothing for an artist that actually is not really that good person or something like that. So I feel that that may be the rationale behind why people don't invest that much in solo artists and don't support them more. But then again, I feel that if we don't support solo artists, especially SEIYUU artists, we are not encouraging them to debut if they have the talent or if they have the passion. By not supporting what is already there, will make so that the SEIYUU that want to have a solo career, they will find it worrying or stressful to even think about starting a career if they already think that people are not going to support them. Do you get what I mean? Because I feel that if I was in their place and I saw that people are not supporting SEIYUU artists, mostly, I would think twice before making a solo debut, because you are investing money, time, and resources into something that may not even pay off, and you will have debt to pay instead of gaining any money from what you are doing, which is a passion that you have aside from the passion for voice acting. So yeah, I see that as a problem, but once again, that's not the topic for this episode. So let's wrap up this episode and go to the outro. And this was all from me about Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto's collaboration with Trust and Play. I like the title of that CD. I feel that this CD is super awesome. From the cover alone, you can tell that the vibes are going to be fun, but not overly bubbly. They are going to be mature, sort of rebellious in a way, but you are going to have a really good time. And trust me, you are going to have a really good time if you check this CD. If you haven't checked that CD, I fully recommend you to do so. This was a collaboration that I would love to see more from. I would love also to see these artists collaborating with others within the music label and also outside of the music label. I feel that since Kiramune is also part of Bandai, and Bandai also has Lantis, that we could see a crossover between Lantis and Kiramune artists. That would make sense. I would love to see and hear some artists from Kiramune crossing over to or with Lantis' artists, although I don't know if that is ever going to happen, but I would love to see that happening, because they are from the, let's say, the same parent music label. So that would be awesome. But then again, I'm not the one in control of that, but I can make my wishes, and I will make my wishes in a couple of episodes. So this was all from me about Tetsuya Kakihara and Nobuhiko Okamoto's collaboration. I would love to know what you think or what you thought about this collaboration, in case you actually came across that collaboration at the same time that it was dropping in 2020. The world was super weird at that time, but I would love to know if you found that collaboration interesting, if you enjoyed that collaboration, or if it is your first time coming across that CD, are you excited about it? Do you want to check it? I would love to know that from you, of course, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section below. And of course, if you are on a streaming platform, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have the time, please follow the podcast and leave a review. It's fairly simple. and helps a ton for other people to find this podcast. And also, if you are on YouTube, give it a thumbs up to this video. It helps a ton to bring more people to this podcast and find this passion that we all have for male seiyuu artists and 2D music. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, it is your time to subscribe to the channel and not miss every single bit of content that drops on this channel. And of course, the podcast that drops every single week. So thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.